Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. The question is, what happens if Dillian Whyte loses to Jermaine Franklin? That's the question. And, man, my shoulder is hurting, man. Eddie Hearn has the answer to that. Now, one thing that I know, right, this is a fact, because it came out of Eddie Hearn's mouth. When Dillian Whyte lost to Tyson Fury, and Dillian Whyte was talking about his next move, Eddie Hearn was saying he really had no interest in re-signing or continuing to work with Dillian Whyte. He was like, Dillian Whyte's free to do whatever he wants. So he was saying the kind of money that Dillian Whyte wants, he can't give him. And he was very, very dismissive of the idea of ever working with Dillian Whyte again. Eddie Hearn has been dismissive of working with Derek Chisora. He's been dismissive of working with some of those Smith brothers. And he's dismissive of working with anyone who's not going to provide a grand slam as far as pay-per-view numbers or revenue generated. Because I've been saying this for months. I personally think Eddie Hearn is in the red. I personally think when it comes to the money that he was fronted to sign fighters and make big fights from the zone, that $1 billion, I personally feel it just didn't get the return on investment that they had anticipated. As a result, I feel that Eddie Hearn his back is against the wall and he's doing whatever is necessary to try to remain afloat. Now, what you see happening right now is Dillian Whyte is in a position to where he has to take whatever's given to him. Okay? So him fighting this guy, Jermaine Franklin, there's not a lot of money being paid out here. Okay? But it's going to sell a lot. It's going to make a lot of money for Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and for the zone. But he doesn't have to pay Dillian Whyte millions of dollars. Franklin's not getting much money at all. But it's a good opportunity for Franklin. And what's happening here is Eddie Hearn is just setting the stage to put one of these guys in who he sees as a low threat in with AJ to build AJ's confidence back up. So both of these guys are basically sacrificial lambs. So, and I'm not saying for AJ, I mean in this fight Friday, November 25th, Jermaine Franklin and Dillian Whyte are both in there as sacrificial lambs. Eddie Hearn doesn't care who loses. But what's going to happen is whichever one of those lambs gets sacrificed, the one that survives, they go on to potentially be sacrifices, to be sacrificed again, an attempted sacrifice again. And that's against AJ. Now, I'll say this. AJ beats both of these guys, probably the same night. Okay? Dillian Whyte, he's got the big left hook. He's got the talk. You know, yeah, he's a tough guy, right? But Dillian Whyte, he doesn't have the punch resistance. And what concerns me going into this fight is that Dillian Whyte's going to get touched by Franklin, and Dillian Whyte is going to develop Bambi legs, and Dillian Whyte may get KO'd again, and his boxing career is going to come crashing to the ground. At the same time, I watched a lot of footage on Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin, he keeps his hands down low. Once he gets in on the inside, because that's where he likes to fight, you know, remember, these are big boys. They're not floating like butterflies or stinging like bees. He gets in close. He gets his shots off, but his hands always end up back around his waist. If he comes in there and makes that mistake, Dillian Whyte will land that big left hook, and Dillian Whyte can knock him out. So the fight's only going to end, one or two ways. Either Dillian Whyte's getting knocked out or Franklin's getting knocked out. And I think it's whichever one makes the first big mistake is the one who's going to pay dearly. And what sucks is whoever wins this fight, they get to go on and fight AJ and they're going to make millions. So when Eddie Hearn, now that's what Eddie Hearn said. But when he said that, what that told me was, in this fight, these guys are probably, Dillian Whyte's probably just making, and it's a lot of money still, probably a few £100,000. I don't think Dillian Whyte's making millions of pounds for this fight. But going into the fight with AJ, that's where the big money is. But if that's not motivation enough for a guy like Franklin, then I don't know what is. Because this is Franklin's opportunity to get into the big leagues. He knocks Dillian Whyte out, which I think he can definitely do that. He's out of here. He's going to go on and fight AJ. Will he beat AJ? I don't know. I doubt it. But he'll go on there, he'll make a few million, and he can go on about his business. He'll kind of be in a position like Charles Martin. Charles Martin got lucky to win a title. The guy he was fighting got an injury in the fight. He won the title by default. He didn't earn it. Goes out there, sells the belt to AJ for like $8 million, right? Gets in there, basically just throws the fight. But Charles Martin hasn't really worried since then because this man made $8 million. So his life will forever change. A guy like Jermaine Franklin, very similar situation if he can beat Dillian Whyte. Fights AJ, probably lose, make $3-4 million, his life changed forever. So it is what it is. So when you talk about the return into the boxing ring this weekend with Dillian Whyte and the undefeated American Jermaine Franklin, man, you got to be concerned for Dillian Whyte coming off of that destructive KO loss to Tyson Fury early this year at Wembley Stadium. My concern is just his punch resistance, man. The body snatcher, he just didn't have anything for Tyson Fury. And when he gets in there, much easier fight for him. I'm not saying he's going to win, but he's got somebody about the same height, same dimensions, someone who's going to stand in front of him and give him an opportunity to land his shots. But I'm just not sure, man. I'm just not sure. But that being said, the fight takes place this Saturday, November 26th. It's going to be held at Wembley Arena in London. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Franklin gets an opportunity, and that's what you like to see, man. They're both super hyped for the fight, taking place in the UK. Dillian Whyte's comfortable, Frank's uncomfortable, but we just have to see if Franklin's going to rise to the occasion. Because let me tell you, when you have a boxing style like him, I think people tend to want to embrace him because he's not there to tickle you. He's there to get you out of there. And he'll take shots in return, so he gets hit too. I'm just not sure he can take that big left hook if Dillian Whyte lands it. But they're both going to land some leather, and I'll be tuning in. Y'all take care. Appreciate the support. As always, I'm in the breeze.